cosmic wonders. Good afternoon. Welcome to a celestial journey like no other. Myself Jamila Awan and I am honored to stand before you as your moderator as we embark on an extraordinary voyage to the cosmos in stars at night, a masterpiece presented by the Cosmic Choir. It is basically founded by Ryan Khan. He is the Dark Sky Ambassador by International Astronomical Union. Cosmic Choir has been working on light pollution, protecting dark skies for astronomy, and also won Karachi Arts Biennale 2022 for his work on the light pollution. In the next few minutes, we will embark on an exhilarating exploration of the universe, where mythology, astronomy, and storytelling entwine in a tapestry of wonder and wisdom. As this documentary is being screened for the very first time publicly, it is basically in English but is available with the subtitles in Urdu as well. Our journey begins in the darkest of nights, where countless stars have ignited the imaginations of humans. So let's delve into this cosmic journey all together.
And what if, in today's light-distracted world, we could no longer look up and wonder, would our stories be as rich and as meaningful as those of our ancestors?
Oh yeah, it's supposed to be right there. You can see it at all.
Yeah, it's not as good as the big moon.
Oh god, no. So what do you want to do now?
You can tell stories. I got one for you. There's this story about
World War II occupation of France, 3 friends and a dog stumbled across a major discovery, news that would be somewhat buried in the emerging realities of the horrors of the war. A cave with some of the oldest rock art paintings known to exist were revealed. Most scholars agree that those who painted the animals were not doing so just to show off their artistic ability. On some level, the animals and imagery shown on the cave walls symbolize a magical and hazardous world in which humans and animals weave around each other, playing a dangerous game of survival. The pictures are telling a story. This painting, estimated to date back almost 17,000 years, is thought to be a prehistoric map of the night sky. It shows 3 bright stars, the summer triangle. A more recent discovery in the caves reveals a map of the Pleiades star cluster among the Lascaux frescoes. The caves could be a prehistoric planetarium in which humanity first charted the stars. The map shows that our ancestors were more sophisticated than many believe.
It is absolutely part of our human nature to want to reach out into the great beyond, to reach out into the mystery and try to discover if there's something beyond what I can see and know.
Early life was an existence of survival. The planets and the stars clearly made an impact on life. The sunrise brought the day and warmth. The moon affected the tides. The position of the sun and the moon and the alignment of the stars in the sky were observed as they changed with the seasons. They foretold when and where to forage for food. Knowing the seasons marked times of famine and of plenty. The cosmos and its patterns help answers to questions of survival.
From the moment that a child was born, as hunter-gatherers back thousands of years ago, at the beginning of humanity, when they opened their eyes, they saw the sky at night. They saw the sunrise, and they saw the sunset. They saw the stars move across the heavens. And their parents spoke to them about what was happening in the sky. They knew it like it was their backyard. They knew it intimately. They were a part of it. It wasn't separated from them.
There are fragments of this early knowledge of the cosmos. Remains of early humans have been found buried with animal bones carved with 28 notches presumed to mark the days of the lunar month. Monuments to the cycles and rhythms of the heavens, including equinoxes, solstices, and eclipses, are seen in majestic monuments such as Stonehenge, the Callanish, as well as the great houses of the Pueblos. And in spite of the life of early human beings being dominated with the essentials of food and shelter, we also begin to see glimmers of an extension of their minds in their stories.
Stories, they give us comfort. They explain the unexplainable. They bring order to chaos. They teach us how to be better people, how to behave toward fellow human beings. And so in difficult times, we look for stories to bring comfort and ease.
All great stories get to the heart of solving a problem. The oldest, most ancient stories are about death and resurrection. We notice as we look up at the night sky that sometimes we see a star burning so bright and it burns out, it goes away, it disappears in the night sky. Stars experience the same death and resurrection that human beings have been experiencing since the beginning. There's so much that we find as storytellers in common with these ancient experiences that people had when they look up at the night sky.
In our modern world, we rarely take the time to look up at the night sky. But for night sky educator Amy Jackson, the stars still hold the power to transform.
Inspired by the long tradition of sidewalk astronomy, my daughter Jean and I decided to take my telescope out one night. The skies were clear, and we were sure to see Jupiter and Saturn and definitely the moon. So we set up the telescope and invited people who were walking by to come take a look. Hey, it's a telescope. You want to look at it? Yeah.
Oh my God!
Oh my God! That's insane, actually.
Oh my goodness! Oh wow! Saturn? Oh my God! I've never seen Saturn before. Wow, you can actually see the rings. That's incredible.
Holy, shut up.
No, that is actually pretty cool. I feel like I'm up there with it.
Whoa. Oh my God.
Oh, I feel like that literally looks like the pictures.
That's so cool.
Oh, it's so cool.
Esto es la luna. Así es la luna. ¿Quieres ver la luna?
Wow, qué chévere.
Across the world, seeing the moon through a telescope has the power to create wonder.
That is incredible.
Oh, wow. Okay, good to know people are taking photos. That is so cool. Oh my God.
So beautiful.
Wow!
other time when she said, this is very up close. This is amazing.
Just taking the time to stop and really look at the night sky again. That makes me realize how similar we all are. And how nice it is to take the time to look up and wonder. The stars represent this timelessness. And they're around for so long that it's true that the same star that we look at was there when people were here tens of thousands of years ago, and they look at the same star. What's one thing that actually connects us all in that way? And that, to me, it's really the only thing.
In a time when human progress and the light we have created threatens our ability to see the stars, it is important to ask, what is the connection between humans and the stars? Did the stars play a part in inspiring original storytelling? And where do stories begin?
We have no way of knowing really what the very first story might have been, but we can think about what are the influences on our lives? What are the things that we would have seen that might have driven our curiosity for us to seek out explanation in the form of story? And for me, it's the night sky.
Nightscapes capture far more than the beauty of the night sky. For each image also reveals a story.
There's a lot to learn from stories. They serve as a way to connect each other to one another and toward understanding and greater meaning.
We actually use stories as metaphors for much greater truths than we can express through literalism. The great Joseph Campbell once said that some stories are so true they can only be told through metaphor.
My name is Amy, and I'm a member of the Chickasaw Nation. And my people, like many tribes throughout the United States, come from a group of people called Mound Builders. And the Mound Builders are an ancient group of people that were here before we had our neighbors and our tribes. And they had beliefs about the stars, and their beliefs were passed on through story. And what we know is they believed we came from the stars. And the world was broken into three pieces. The upper for the deity, we had Hata, the middle for man and animal, and then the underworld. And the universe rotates around this plateau. And occasionally across the bottom, and the stars are trapped. Now eventually they make their way to the middle world and live their life. But the stars where we came from is where you had to return to. So once you die, your soul would jump through Orion. And we viewed it as a hand, and the center is the eye. And if you could jump through that eye, you would make it to the White Dot Way, the Milky Way. You would travel down that path, Scorpio, Pleiades, all the different constellations, all the different characters, grandfathers, giants, eagles, and serpents, the one of our gods. They each give you a task or help you on your way. And once you completed this task, you went on into the ancestors or into the finals. And you stayed there until it's time to come back. And you would be reborn into the family that you left and you recognize yourself returning. You came from the stars and you return to the stars.
Interesting is that Japanese merchants span global cultures over centuries on our planet. They are woven into the fabric of world religions, and in this way, there are similarities. In Norse mythology, there's the story of Odin. With the Aztecs, it's a crow. The Japanese, there's an Ami. And with the Greeks, there's Saturn. As the goddess of beauty, she is an eternal symbol of death, and yet, with her willing return to earth, she is forever the symbol of spring and rebirth. Among the Finns, Estonians, and related peoples, the Milky Way was and is called the pathway of the birds. In few of them even started him on a life journey.
I was a teenager growing up in Tehran, and on top of our apartment in this large city, I bought a telescope from a neighbor, and the first look at the moon really changed my life. I can still remember that moment, second by second, the craters, the moon, mountains, and all those details through just a tiny telescope really surprised me and put me on a road to explore the night sky. You're not on Earth anymore, and you're connected to something very deep within you, which were hidden for a long time. And that may roots back to our ancestors. They looked at the stars, not only to find the calendars to keep time, but also for their very first legends and myths. They looked at the stars to find a way to live eternally, to make symbols that last eternally.
And it's these experiences that inspire some children to create a life of following the stars.
I have this visceral memory of going out to the lake at night after the stars had come out. And it was like a million stars, not only overhead, but reflected in this perfectly calm water beneath. And at that moment, I felt like I was actually floating in space, stars all around me. And I was lost in this sense of depth of interstellar space.
People like to look at the stars and create stories. They want to be connected to something greater. And I think we all are here wondering what our purpose is, and we want to know why.
And when looking at the night sky, we feel connected to that and reawaken that part of ourselves that has been with us since we were born.
When we lose our view of the night sky, we lose our greater perspective of everything. And to me, when I look up at the night sky, I understand my place in the universe more to me, and I feel more connected to other humans.
What does this mean for the children of the future? Will they miss something they don't even know they're losing? We engaged 4 young filmmakers from Texas State University's film program to join us in one of the darkest regions in North America and to make a film asking what would it be like to see the sky as the ancients did.
Okay, so this is my testimony about the trip I just took to Big Bend. So at the beginning of the trip, we were each paired up with another filmmaker to help us document our journey. And I got paired up with this fellow student named Matt. Okay, there's another. So we're both excited, but we're also kind of nervous because none of us actually knows each other super well. Okay, so this is Nat. We just got into the car. Nat and I have only met 4 times, but we're about to be on each other for a while.
So I jumped out the character to say Angela. She's super quirky, cookie, all of the fun adjectives that Porky picked up. I was really grateful to have her there.
It turns out whenever you spend 8 hours in the car with somebody, you get to know them pretty quickly.
So, let's just start, right?
Yeah, and I thought it was going to be 8 hours.
It's 7 hours and 25 minutes. 25 minutes, so it's not, it's 10 minutes.
out we have a light on. We love to see movies.
Oh yeah.
The Big Bend is a surprising sight to encounter as it reveals itself on the horizon. The first images seem to loom as almost ethereal ghost mountains. As beautiful as it is brutal, it is quite literally the stuff of legends. Spanning over 800,000 acres, it is more than 4 times the size of Austin, Texas. Cabeza de Vaca was likely the first European to journey through the harsh, unforgiving countryside. And while his book, La Relation, reveals the desperate hardships they endured, he did note one Indian tribe and their survival ties to the stars.
Toda esta gente no conocía los tiempos del sol ni tiene en cuenta del mes y año, y más entienden y saben las diferencias de los tiempos, cuando las frutas vienen a andar y el tiempo que muere el pescado, el aparecer de las estrellas, en que son muy diestros y ejercitados.
This part of the vast Jawali Desert is a world of 2 distinct climates, revealing its stark differences in the juxtaposition of desert and springs, mountains, and the beautiful canyons that were carved by the once mighty Rio Grande. A little known fact is the park was originally imagined as a peace park, a place where 2 countries would have sister national parks on a shared border. All these years later, that original wish was fulfilled when the Dark Sky Association, in collaboration with the University of Texas and multiple partners, created the over 9 million acre Greater Big Bend International Dark Sky Reserve, currently the world's largest. The heart of the park is the Chisos Basin, named for the Chisos Indians about whom little is known. The mountains are surprising even for longtime Texans. It's the Texas of stories, alive with peregrine falcons, bear, mountain lion, and bobcat, and a different type of bobcat, Texas State University bobcats.
My name is Olivia Catherine Baker. I traveled to the Big Bend with Michael Payne, and she's really fun and funny. Getting to know her was also getting to know her art, and she's a video maker. She has a YouTube channel.
2 of our other Texas State alums were Michael and Olivia. I really knew neither of them. And then once I got there, I got to know them a lot more and see how much in common they had with both Will and I as well, especially in terms of where we are in our lives.
So we're also on a trip with Will and Adam, which they're like Ed and Eddie minus like the third Ed. Those 2 are like a weird sort of package deal because they feed off of each other's madness.
I'm alive, ready to go, I'm awake. Check out Nadia.
I'm alive. Where did you?
You were asleep in the parking lot.
We talked for 8 hours, that was the problem.
So the interview was always really great.
Well, we're all going to this trip together. We're going to this sort of dark, deep forest blind, but we're all together.
About an hour out from Big Bend, the whole country started changing. We finally started seeing mountains. It was amazing, these towering mountains, and we're just driving through them in our tiny little car.
So, well, what would you think of this scenery over here? Man, this stuff, it's crazy, man.
Part of my journey as a journalist and photographer was to follow the solar eclipses in different continents and make a documentary. One of them was in Zambia in 2001, and I joined to truly explore adventure from Germany and France, Bernard Neuser and Pascal Demy. I joined them in Zambia in a very remote location of Kafue National Park, where we started this camp, and we were about 8-9 people sitting together around fire, and I looked around, 1 from Poland, the other from Germany, France, at least 5-6 different nations and culture, and we were completely breaking our geographical, cultural, and political barriers by staring at the night sky, by this borderless sky above us. And the idea came to my mind, Maybe the night sky has this unique power of uniting people. A simple message of one people, one sky could emerge from the photography that I'm doing. But later on, I also came to other messages that we can deliver through the images, including reclaiming the starry sky, which is affected by light pollution, fight against the artificial light, how we can control it. There is an old Persian saying that night hides the world, but reveals the universe.
This sky glow map reveals that most of us cannot see the stars and why. Most people on Earth live in places where it's impossible to see the Milky Way. Loss of darkness has a profound effect on our world, something many are simply unaware of. It negatively affects animal migration and birds and other wildlife. It is important to human health to experience darkness, and the never-ending daylight causes a myriad of maladies. While homes and buildings lit up at night are thought to provide more security, data actually shows that this isn't always the case. A disconnection from nature has proven to be a legitimate issue for overall health and wellness, and the night sky is fully half of that experience. Tyler Nordgren has forged his passion for astronomy with his talent as an artist and combined the two into his work with the national parks in the U.S.
When I first started traveling to national parks, I took along my digital camera in order to show people what you can see in these dark, starry skies. I realized that it's more than just photographs. I wanted to have more than photography. I wanted to draw a modern version of these WPA posters. But instead of See America, it was going to be See the Milky Way. And from this, we came up with what has actually become a national poster campaign. I now have posters for parks all over the country. In fact, some of them for all over the world. When I wrote my book, I created this National Park Service poster of See the Milky Way in America's national parks. These posters became a real hit with park rangers and visitors. Parks began to ask me, can we sell these? Can our park rangers use them? And so I was delighted. I was happy to share this message that half the park is after dark in America's national parks.
As national parks, universities, and groups like the Dark Sky Association and the World at Night program work to preserve the night sky, it inspires reflection on why the stars seem to have such a magnetic connection to us as human beings.
Carl Sagan said that we are stars.
Some part of our being knows this is where we came from. We long to return. And we can, because the cosmos is also within us. We're made of stars. We are away, and the cosmos has no inside.
It is true. The atoms that make up our bodies, the iron in our red blood cells, the oxygen that is in our lungs, the carbon that makes up our bones, those atoms are only here on this planet, in our bodies, because when the Earth formed, it formed out of these atoms that were floating in interstellar space, in these great clouds of gas and dust that spread out between the stars within our galaxy. And every single element that we interact with in our daily lives began its life in the heart of a star. So, at a fundamental level, we are stars made sentient.
There's so much more truth in the night skies when we look up at the stars and we recognize there's something that is not for us to fully understand. There's something out there, something up there that we can spend our entire lives attempting to connect to, attempting to understand. And we may not ever get there, but that's not the point. The point is the journey. The point is the pursuit. The point is every night trying to get a little further into our understanding of what we're seeing.
So a few minutes afterwards, we go and get our beer and go out to this place, this outlet. So we finish up with the sunset and Amy, who is our star girl, she knows all about the stars and the constellations. She pulls out these star wheels for us. And on the star wheels are all the different constellations of the sky. She tells us how to work them, how we can turn them to the month that we're in, and then the time that we're in, and then live.
Where did we?
You were asleep in the parking lot.
We talked for 8 hours. That was the problem.
So it was the
In addition to the stars, we find common grounds that boundless universe. Thank you, all of you, for joining us in this remarkable journey through stars at night. And now we will move towards our next session.